Hello and welcome back to Module 5, Lesson 2. During this lesson, we are going to talk about differentiation and positioning. At any stage, feel free to pause the video to take notes, rewind to hear information again, or stop the video to complete a learning activity. Let's dive in. In this module, we will cover 3 topics, each of which have been designed to introduce marketing and start you on the path to being a social entrepreneur. These are the topics for this lesson. What are undifferentiated and differentiated marketing? What is positioning and how should you develop a competitive advantage? And how can you develop your position statement? This first topic introduces undifferentiated and differentiated marketing. In our last lesson, we talked about the market and market segmentation. Undifferentiated marketing is when we choose to ignore the differences that exist between various market segments and focus on their similarities instead. For example, let's assume you're producing toothpaste. Everyone needs toothpaste, so we can assume that we can develop a standard product for everyone, with neutral packaging and something that we can hope everyone will like, more or less, without targeting any particular group. The taste can also be for an average population, perhaps a mild mint. We can thus hope to target everyone with this product. So this is an example of undifferentiated marketing. But in the last lesson, we also learned about the differences that exist between segments, and these differences can be of critical significance when it comes to the success of your business. Differentiated marketing is the approach when we take these differences into consideration and our marketing takes a different approach for different segments. For example, we're marketing toothpaste. We develop a strong mint flavor for adults, but something fruity for children. Our packaging is colorful in a way that appeals to children with various characters drawn on it, but we also have packaging targeting adults. We might even have a distinct offering to elderly customers. So our packaging varies, our advertising varies, and our communication varies for the various segments. Naturally, you should also consider that doing this would be more expensive and complicated for your company. It takes more work and resources to develop various kinds of packaging, for example, or 2 different commercials, develop products that taste good, etc. But on the other hand, our offering is much more visible to the target group when we use differentiated marketing. When we approach the whole market with a single standard solution, fewer people will notice it and discover our offering. When we use differentiated marketing and tailor things to a given segment's daily routines, tasks, and so on, we can be much more visible to that group, which can also naturally end up being more profitable. This table shows you the difference between undifferentiated and differentiated marketing. As we already mentioned, undifferentiated marketing is easier for a business when it comes to the resources needed, design, communication, and so on, but it also provides much less visibility in the market. In the case of differentiated marketing, there are more costs, it takes more time, but it also provides greater visibility for the given target segment. You should also consider that undifferentiated marketing requires much less in terms of customer data, information about the market, feedback from customers, because we seek to target everyone with our approach. Differentiated marketing, on the other hand, requires us to conduct a more in-depth study of the segment that we are targeting, and it is based on that data that we must differentiate our approach and develop the strategy, thanks to which we will be more visible to the given segment. There is also the concept of centralized marketing or niche marketing. This is when we target a very small segment but seek to grab a large percent of it. Usually, a new business entering the market may seek to target a large market, say a market of 1 million young women, hoping to grab 5% of that market during the first year or in the first 2 years. That means a total of 50,000 customers, which we can say is quite a large number. Centralized marketing takes the opposite approach. We take a much smaller group, let's say a target market of 75,000 in our society, based on some specific characteristics, and we seek to grab a large percentage of that niche market. So, for example, if we consider our market to consist of the parents of twins and we seek to grab 80% of that, this would be quite a large number. This is particularly interesting because these niche segments may be neglected and it might be easier for us to be visible to this population with our offering. Many companies may not have tried hard enough to understand their needs and wants because they are a relatively small group. This is centralized marketing, pursuing a small niche or segment but seeking to get a large share in it. The second topic in today's lesson is positioning and developing a competitive advantage. Let's assume that you have already defined your value proposition and understand who your customers are. Those customers already exist in the market and there are competitors who are already offering them certain products or services. How is your offer positioned in that market? This depends on the perception of the customers. The customers also have certain perceptions of your competitors when they decide which offer to select from the available in the market. They look at you and compare you to your competitors. You have to understand what characteristics are most important to your customers and how you are positioned in relation to your competitors based on those characteristics. Let's look at a simple position map in order to understand what this is all about. You see this image where the mapping has been done based on two characteristics, low or high quality and low or high price. And you see 5 companies or brands that are positioned on this map based on how high their quality, how low their price is, and so on. The closer the brand is to the top of the image, the higher its quality. The closer the brand is to the right edge of the image, the higher its price. We see brand 4, for example, which has the best quality among the 5 that have been mapped, but is not very expensive. It is priced lower than average price. We can also see brand 2 and 5, which have similar market shares. The size of the circle represents its relative market share. While brand 2 is better than brand 5 in terms of quality, but has a higher price. But brand 5 seems to be targeting customers who prefer a lower price, and this is how it's positioned in the market. These customers are satisfied with a relatively low level of quality. This is a very simple example of a position map, and you should start thinking about your own case, your market, and how you are positioned here. If we were to prepare a map of your market, where would you be positioned? It is very important to understand your competitive advantage. What do you have that makes your position unique in the market? You need to identify this competitive advantage and emphasize it so that you are optimally and successfully positioned in the market. You should try to understand, for example, how you are different from your competitors based on the characteristics that matter to your customers. For example, do you have better customer service than your competitors? Can you stand out through attractive design or packaging? Can you outperform your competitors when it comes to quality? Can you make your offering easier to communicate to your customers? Could you be the simplest choice when it comes to the advantages of your offering or business proposition? And it is very important to understand the extent to which this competitive advantage can be maintained without significantly affecting profit. For example, we may have the best customer service with a team of 20 people in our customer service team. Our competitors, meanwhile, might be managing with only teams of 3 or 4. Can we remain profitable while maintaining this team of 20 if we want to keep this position as of best in customer service? Or are we spending too much on this? This is what we should think about. These are some ways to identify your competitive advantage and how to develop it. The final topic in this lesson is developing a position statement. When we develop a position statement, we are trying to find an answer to the question, why? Why should customers choose our proposition? We did this when thinking about the value proposition. For example, look at the position statement examples that are presented on the slide, where we are comparing price and the benefit customers get from our proposition compared to others. Our offer could be priced higher, lower, it could provide more benefits to the customer, and so on. You can see several position statements in green here, which are the winning statements. For example, we could position ourselves such that our customer gets more for more. We could say to our customers, yes, if you choose us, you will pay more than our competitors, but you also get this, this, and this, meaning that there are more customer benefits in exchange for that higher price. The position statement could be, more for the same. You will pay the same as you would to our competitor, but we will also give you this, this, and this. Additional customer benefits. Interesting. Please note that there is a winning statement called less for much less, which we see, for example, in the case of budget airlines. This says, yes, you will pay much less if you choose us, but consider that you will not be able to take on any additional luggage with you. You cannot choose your seat on the plane, you cannot do this or that, but you will pay much less for our offer. And this also works. The exercise in this lesson is dedicated to developing a position map. You have to map your market and identify your positioning, your competitors, and so on. In order to do this, talk to your customers and identify the most important characteristics to them. Based on those characteristics, how do you rate your competitors? You could choose price and quality, for example, as we saw earlier in this lesson. Then you need to understand how customers perceive you based on price in comparison to the others, and based on quality in comparison to the others. That is how you should develop the map and mark your position and those of your competitors. Let's summarize this lesson with the following points. You must choose the best option for your company. Do you choose differentiated marketing, undifferentiated marketing, or centralized marketing? You must investigate and understand what the position map of your market is like and where you would fit into the picture. You must develop a winning position statement that would differentiate you from your customers. Looking forward to seeing you again in the next lesson.